Hello and welcome to the Wisdom Workshop. Please like the video and subscribe with all notifications turned on so that you won't miss any of our wisdom improving videos. The following words you'll be hearing are from the works and words of Joe Rogan, which has been roughly translated in a script to discuss and showcase how the life of Joe caused him to be heavily respected in many communities all over the world. Some people actually like nothing more than doing nothing but sitting around. I don't like me when I sit around and screw about. My entire life, especially as a young guy, I was persuaded that I was a loser and was completely sure of this, up until I started excelling in martial arts. I basically had a really poor sense of self-worth and was restricting myself based on what I believed other people thought of me. I never felt I was excellent at anything. This occurred when I was fairly a young kid, and I didn't realize it until I was in my 30s, but I believe you may be constrained by your views of other people's notions of you. You can break through those things with discipline, hard effort, attention, and focus. And that's why it's so essential to have discipline or an art or anything that you're trying to develop or something that you're really working on. Because I believe it's very difficult to get through life and appreciate actual difficulty if you don't have a point of concentration as a human. Because though we have this sort of fight with what our bodies were built for 10,000 years ago, our bodies are actually still designed for that. When you're sitting in front of a computer in a cubicle in an uncomfortable position all day, physical effort doesn't really reveal itself. I believe that the entire scenario is incredibly perplexing for the human body and that we don't receive the tests that we require in order to have what you would call personal sovereignty. So you must subject yourself to such situations. If you have a goal, chase that goal and accomplish some things. You would get this boost of confidence, this boost of self-esteem, like whatever it is that you're into doing. Maybe you're into drawing comic books, maybe you're even into making pottery or sculptures. Whatever it is, find it and pursue it instead of doing nothing. Like the individuals who are doing nothing, doing anything might be as easy as the Alex Honnold man who just climbs rocks yet is world-class at it. You don't genuinely enjoy relaxation unless you've worked hard, which is the yin and yang of life. And I've said it so many times that people are sick of hearing it. However, one of the worst judgments a guy can make, and I can only speak for males, is to be comfortable. I don't think you should aim to be comfortable. I think you should try to earn comfort, and if you can have a day off when you've worked hard and fulfilled goals, that day off will be so lovely. I'm certainly more of a workaholic than I should be, and if the balance was right, I should probably rest more than I do, but I never feel like I earned it. But part of the reason I can appreciate it when I feel like I earned it is because I'm more linked to the concept that I need to do things. And it's not for anybody's benefit other than my own. It was because of this that I became a great martial artist. What drove me to achieve is the reinforcement of those objectives, like realizing that you can reach those goals and challenging yourself to push through the difficulty, because you'll learn more about what the difficulty actually is and how much of it is just mental. How much of it is just in your head, this adversity to a difficult task or struggling. And many people are afraid about complications. They're afraid of failing. People are terrified of failure, yet it's one of the most important things you can have in terms of incentive to do things differently. One of the reasons I believe I'm excellent at friendships and relationships is because I've failed many of them in the past. One of the reasons I'm excellent at comedy is that I've flopped on stage. One of the reasons I'm excellent at work is that I've been a sloppy worker in the past and I understand the feelings of failure and guilt that come with being a weak, lazy person. It's a weak feeling because you don't respect yourself. I have a slogan that I use all the time to drive people. Be the hero in your own movie. They say that if your life were a movie and it started now, what would the hero do? What would the person you respect do? If you do that, you gradually generate momentum. For example, today I did what I wanted to do. I began a yoga class, I did this, I did all these things I said I wasn't gonna do, and now I feel momentum. And momentum is a really crucial element in people's life. That's why some people dislike taking days off, because they feel like they're gonna lose momentum and they have to restart the wheel after a vacation. I got into comedy because I loved comedy, and focusing on people who suck or being jealous of those who do well does me no good. Instead, if someone performs well, I may be encouraged and fired up by it. After all, I discovered this in my early 20s. I was thinking, alright, this is a bad way of looking at it because it's a martial arts thing and you can't be envious of someone else's abilities in martial arts. You must recognize that you may have to face them eventually, so by realizing how excellent they are, you're forced to be objective about it and you must get to work. There's no advantage to underestimating someone. One thing that discipline can undoubtedly benefit you with is getting things done. When you get things done, you really do things, you have greater success, and often a large part of success is simply not being lazy and just doing it. Simply grasp that 90% of it is just getting up, and begin working like you're just not gonna feel wonderful every day. I'd be big as a pig if I just worked out when I felt well, since there are many days when I don't want to do it. If you get good at anything, it's pretty much the same for everyone. You know there's gotta be those days you push through, and they're probably gonna be more often than the days you don't, so the benefit of discipline in my perspective has always been that I get things done via discipline. I usually joke that I'm the most lazy and disciplined person I know because sometimes I don't want to do something. Nonetheless, I always do the thing. And a lot of people will say, well, I have family, so it's all wonderful for you to just go out there and go wild. I have people to support, but you should stop saying that. Stop saying any of those things because everyone who has ever done something good, outstanding, tough, or amazing, whether great artists, novelists, mathematicians, or whatever it is, they've encountered obstacles. There's no such thing as an easy route. It doesn't exist. It's simply not there. Everyone has problems, and if you have time to pursue a hobby or do anything else in your life, you can improve yourself. Here's one method you never improve yourself. When you make excuses for why other individuals are successful while you're not. When you provide yourself an escape route, that thing is harmful. Yeah, that's simple for you to say, but believe me, everyone has a difficult journey. Several times in my young childhood, I longed to leap out a window, I wanted to leap in front of a train simply to end it because there was too much pressure. Not actually, but you get the idea. We all have terrible times. We all have depression, we all have moments in our lives when things are very difficult and we're trying to figure out what the heck our path is gonna be. It's quite difficult, but this is what makes you a person. And those trying times are what shape your character. Show me a great man who is a great man's son. The most essential thing is that everyone recognizes that you're not who you were a year ago, who you were 5 years ago, and who you were last week. You are who you are today, and this is the only thing you have control over. Therefore, you must limit how much you linger on previous regrets. You really have to be careful because it's nice to have a little regret, whether professional or friendship related, which is one thing that makes me very happy, but life is odd. There's a lot going on, there's a lot of forces at work in life. But who I am now would not have occurred if I hadn't messed up. If I didn't make those errors, I would not have realized the value of friendship and compassion. And if I hadn't been unkind at some time in my life, or if someone else hadn't been harsh to me, I wouldn't have realized the beauty of love. I wouldn't appreciate the full extent of it since I hadn't experienced the sting. If no one ever punches you in the face, you don't truly appreciate safety since many people don't even know what it is. You may say we're safe, but you're not safe at any time. When you've been struck in the face many times and been in a street brawl with a guy you hardly knew you had a disagreement with, there's something about ordinary safety that tastes better. It's also better to drive your car straight after almost losing control on a bend and then getting back straight. But I'm not suggesting you should drive sideways around curves. I'm just saying that there's a yin and yang in this universe. And you have to feed yourself with screw-ups. And most people become trapped in these cycles because they label themselves as a screw-up, or as someone who doesn't follow through on their ideas, or someone who doesn't pursue their true interests and passions. You identify yourself as, oh, when I start something, I simply just quit. No, you have just begun things and then quit, leaving you with a terrible sense of remorse that has caused you to define yourself by that. But you're not required to do so. Thank you for watching our video. I hope the wise words of Joe Rogan proves to you why he's so respected, and I hope these words will help you get out of a slump that you may be feeling at this moment. Please do like the video too, and subscribe with all notifications turned on so that you won't miss any of our upcoming videos.